Hi, my name is David Marcer. In late 2012, I was involved in a car accident in which I came very close to losing my life. A driver on the opposite side of the road who was driving under the influence of drugs and alcohol, who has since served a prison sentence for his actions, veered across the road and hit the taxi I was travelling in head on. And amazingly enough, the taxi only moved 1 metre from the point of impact. So both myself and the taxi driver instantly came to a stop at a combined speed of both vehicles totalling 160 kilometres an hour. I burst both my lungs. I had an oblique fracture of my sternum. I separated my xiphoid process, a compression fracture of my T12 vertebrae, an injured right wrist, several serosal tears to my lower spine, a disc bulge in my lower lumbar area of my spine, kidney damage. I eventually lost my left kidney in 2016 after a long battle to save it. I tore my smaller intestine away from my larger intestine, which caused severe internal bleeding. I almost lost my life due to this. In surgery, the specialist had to do a resection of my smaller intestine and a fold over of my larger intestine. After going home from hospital, a week later my smaller intestine split in 3 places and I ended up with abdominal sepsis. I obviously went back into hospital. The doctors were very concerned that I may not survive due to its severity. The surgeons gave me 3 options. I literally had to choose one of them by myself, and I only had an hour to do so. The first option I was given, there was a good chance I wouldn't survive. The second option may have caused me more problems than I currently had. And the last option, the surgeon and his colleagues had never seen it work in a case like mine. I chose the last option and was given huge doses of antibiotics to combat the infection, which thank goodness it worked. The information I've just given you on myself is a basic rundown on what injuries and short-term complications I sustained. Unfortunately, most of these injuries led to chronic pain. And as a chronic pain sufferer, you'll probably know and understand that there is so much more to chronic pain than just the pain itself. There is also the fallout, both emotional and physical. The lack of sleep and at times exhaustion, the stress and anxiety about how you feel and what your future holds. The grief that comes with the loss of things that you used to be able to do. Whether this comes instantly or over a period of time, it ends up being the same. The pressure it puts on relationships. Also, if your situation is complicated enough, there may be a lack of answers or confusion from health professionals about your diagnosis or what sort of long-term treatments you may require. And last but not least, all of the unwanted suffering and hard work that long-term pain and illness brings into your life. From all this trauma, I've gained chronic pain in and around my sternum, rib cartilages, mid-back, lower back, neck, shoulder, stomach, xiphoid process, left kidney region, and also I have issues with my blood iron levels due to the large amount of blood I lost in the accident itself. I found out quite early on in my recovery process that health professionals were going to be helpful, but ultimately achieving a successful recovery came down to me and me alone. So I took ownership of my situation. I started asking questions, researching treatments, and most importantly, learning about myself. If I had to rely on me to get the job done, I knew I had to understand myself and my relationship with chronic pain as much as I possibly could. I took one informed step at a time. Each step wasn't always perfect, but I learned from both positive and negative results. By doing this, I have successfully reached a point where I can happily manage my chronic pain, and within reason, I can do just about anything I choose to do. Recovery is hard. Moving forward through pain and illness is hard. I have some solid thought-provoking ideas and methods that can potentially get your life back on track and make the most of what you have now while still planning for your future. I would like to share with you what I've learned, plus explore other concepts, therapies and ideas that expand into other areas of chronic pain and illness. I hope you make the most of what I have to offer and subscribe to the Foundation for Change.